Hello, we'd like to ask Wordbank a few questions. First of all, please tell us about your company, who are your clients, and what is your mission in business?
So Wordbank is an international marketing agency, and our services cover everything from translation and localization through to international SEO and PPC, social media, cross-cultural web design, anything along the marketing chain. And really what we do is we help our clients achieve their global ambitions in marketing. Our clients across lots of different verticals, everyone from Mazda, DeBeers, Autodesk, Disney, Hewlett-Packard, a real range of clients. And a lot of our clients have been with us for over 5 years or more, so we've got real client retention and loyalty at Wordbank. The thing that they all have in common is they really care about how they come across in the local market, and so getting their local marketing right in their target markets is really important to them.
We know you're all about international marketing, and translation and localization are among your main services. What kinds of translation do you provide, and why can't companies just use free machine translation instead of paying you for this service?
Okay, well, first of all, historically we have been associated with marketing, translation and localization, which is a particular skill. However, it's true to say in the modern digital world, this is only half the story. A translated website only gets you halfway there. So as you can see on our stand today, there's a lot of focus on search, getting your content targeted, deciding what you're going to translate, etc., etc. That's the way to ensure the success. Now, you asked me about machine translation and whether it should be free. Well, machine translation can be free, but as you know, there's no free lunches in life. So at some point on certain content, we will apply machine translation, but then it's post-edited by a human to make sure that actually it's usable on a website. Then we have to layer on top of that other services which deliver the content. At the end of the day, if you're buying a Mazda or a BMW or a Bentley, you're not going to put up with machine translation. The customers will disappear very fast.
If I'm a marketer who wants to conquer overseas markets, why should I choose your firm to help me? Do you have any advantages compared to your rivals?
Well, first and foremost, we're a relatively small company, but we've got quite good global reach. We're based in London, we have an operation in Denver, and we've now got a partnership with a company in Tokyo as well. Alongside that, all our linguistic and specialist resources, most of those are spread around the world in the countries where they're immersed in the culture and in the local landscape. So in terms of what do we do best and why should companies come to us, is we're agile, but we're focused on the whole continuum of the solution. So we'll help you define your strategy before you enter the new market. So particularly markets like Russia, China, etc. are quite difficult for a Western audience to penetrate, and there's a relative minefield in many cases. So we help you move through, as Lydia said, the whole marketing supply chain, with the end result is you get SES, you get conversions on your website, etc., etc.
Does multilingual SEO differ significantly from traditional one-language SEO, according to your opinion?
Well, the thing is with SEO is that you can have an English website that ranks perfectly well inside of google.co.uk, then you switch it into French, and obviously people are searching in French, so suddenly then you've lost any kind of ranking that you might have had. More importantly, you can't then just translate your website and expect to rank in exactly where you do in the UK. You've got to understand exactly what your keywords are, the kind of areas you want to focus on, how people actually talk about your brand or your product in France, in Germany, and even bigger than that, do they even use Google? If you look at Russia and China, they use Baidu and Yandex, completely different search engines, completely different algorithms. If you're not actually localized in your content and getting your right SEO for those search engines, you will not do good ranking, and it's as simple as.
Now we'd like to ask you a few questions, looking for your opinion about general issues in digital marketing. First of all, what future for using mobile devices and mobile marketing all over the world would you predict?
Well, we know that mobile is increasingly popular globally in terms of online access, and it's particularly in the emerging markets where it's really exploding. In our sessions at the Marketing Week Live this year, we've been talking about China, Russia and the Gulf, and those areas in particular there's a real explosion in mobile usage, particularly in the Gulf, in Qatar, countries where in Saudi Arabia they have maybe 2 mobile phones per person, and anecdotally we know that rather than giving out a contact card or a mobile number, they just give someone a mobile phone. So it's really a different mind shift, and there's an explosion in mobile usage. So I think ignore those mobile markets at your peril, really.
In your opinion, what is the reason for the disastrous Facebook IPO? Will it recover?
This is a really interesting question. Obviously, Facebook's decision to actually go onto the stock market was quite questionable. Now that they've launched it, there's been more disastrous issues with flotation prices and cancellation issues and orders going awry and all the rest of it. Personally, I think Facebook will recover because it's still the #1 social media platform in the world, and to be honest, it still has bigger reach than any other medium you could ever think of.
And could I just add to that, outside of the Anglo-Saxon market, for instance, we talked to our partner in Japan and asked them a similar sort of question. They don't care, they're not interested. Facebook dominates mainly in the Western, as Mark was saying, the Western markets. So it's a non-question to them, they're not interested.
Okay, Google animals. Do pandas and penguins really help mankind, or do they just cause harm to SEO professionals?
Well, as a purely search engine optimizer myself, they cause me great harm because suddenly I have to really, really work. But the truth is that for the end user, this update has been so long coming. At the moment, before these updates came in, we just used to get links from wherever we could, not necessarily thinking about the end user, we just wanted to get our ranking sorted. What we've seen from these animal updates is now Google saying, okay, that's all fine, but actually, are you the right site for that search? And things like that are so important that actually it makes my life more difficult, but makes Google work a hell of a lot better for the people who are actually using it.
Will social media with their search facilities kill traditional search engines like Google, from your point of view?
Well, I think it's really important for Google to start integrating these into their own platform. I mean, when Google and Twitter had that real-time search loading, that was fantastic. The fact that they've cancelled that so suddenly seems to be quite strange. I don't think it's ever going to kill search engines because ultimately people are quite savvy to what they actually want to see, and quite often they'll search on Facebook for something really particular, not just a general search. But Google has to start realising that actually, if you keep shunning out all these social media platforms and just push Google plus your world, which has less than 10 active users on it, then actually you're not going to be able to start getting these additional searches, and they may start to suffer from it.
How do you remain up to speed with all the rapidly changing changes that inevitably take place in digital marketing technologies?
I mean, it certainly is a job. I think it helps coming to events like Marketing Week Live, trying to keep on top of things. Also, our clients keep us constantly challenged. They need more dynamic, more interesting ways of marketing to their target markets. And because we work globally, we're constantly having to really think on our feet and keep up to date. Mark and Gordon both blog regularly, and so by the very nature of that, they have to immerse themselves in the topic area.
How can companies benefit from taking part in digital marketing events?
Well, this is an interesting question at the moment. I mean, I think these events, like Marketing Week Live, online marketing show, is useful. The problem we have is what we really want to do is we want to engage with customers to discuss their problems. You know, the problem, as we said, isn't translation, isn't just search. It's how to get the most out of it. The speaking sessions are quite good, but again, it's quite noisy, and you don't get the chance to interact. I think maybe we need to find another way of bringing people together where we can talk. You know, the footfall is for us. We're looking for people interested in the global market. How many people are here that are global? We don't know. So I think you have to be focused and decide: are the sorts of people that I want to talk to there, and are they providing the information that we provide? I'm not sure that we get enough feedback in saying, well, why are people coming to these events? I mean, I think that's a good question, don't you?
Yeah.
Why? What are your expectations of coming to Marketing Week Live? We know what ours are. It's pretty simple, pretty obvious to everyone. But what do they want? Because I guess if they said, well, it's all domestic, it's all social media in the UK, then we just wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit of a personal question. What is the worst advice you've ever been given in business?
I think for me, one of my very first line managers when I started out my career told me that I should always approach everything with caution. I think that is an epic fail, and actually you should approach everything boldly, and almost set out to fail, try everything, move quickly and learn from your mistakes. And I think that's the approach we're taking at WordBank now is, just move fast, try things, see what works, see what doesn't.
Right, the last question. What countries do you already work in, and where are you going to spread your presence in the nearest 3 or 4 years?
Well, it depends what you mean by working. I mean, ostensibly, we execute in a total of 140 countries. What is noticeable over the last few years is the more and more the demand for newer countries. Like, for instance, even countries like Iran, the Gulf states, we've seen they're very active. China is a serious discussion now. Even the word emerging market is no longer relevant to a lot of these countries. They're well and truly emerged. So it is global, it's more complicated, and you have to follow the money, right? There's no point in us focusing on the UK or Europe when the money is elsewhere. As I said, we have the Denver operation, we have now the link in Tokyo. The one missing thing which we're hoping to set up quite soon is WordBank in Asia, which will give us that final link in the chain.
It's very nice of you to answer our questions. May all your projects be successful. Please do watch the interview at bizteams.com.
Thank you.